Well, good afternoon. Adjust the volume there. Here we go. It's virtual happy hour time. Been a while. It's been a week. And we'll go through all the whys and catch ups and all that good stuff. But first off, let's roll the open in three, two, one. Here we go. Promise. Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition. Good to see Matt out there in Australia. You folks probably struggling to get in here, and I totally get it because we've been. Oops, sorry. Press play. We've been away so long that I didn't even. I've kind of forgotten how to do stuff. As a matter of fact, we've been away since last Monday, and anyway, good to see you guys out there. A lot to catch up on, and. Anyway, glad you're here. Let's bring these things down and let me tell you the story. The story is, well, it's been pretty simple. Remember last Wednesday I told you I was going to Kansas City. I was going to try to do a show. And in reality, I could have. But I kind of forgot it was Wednesday. Flipped to KC Tuesday night, got in about 10:15 or so. Got to the hotel about 11:30. Got up early. It was 27 degrees at the time. Did a little morning walk. Went to the office in Leawood. I was staying downtown, but Leawood is where the corporate office is. Ran out there. Going to see Lance as well out in the Hub City. I did a whole day at the office. Went back to the hotel, needed some dinner, and there's a place I like to go to. My wife and I like a lot. We love wings, but this place in Kansas City, if you're ever in KC, in the metro Kansas City area, there's several locations. The Peanut is the place. The two main ones, there's one on Main, just past the Crown Center up. If you're going south from downtown Kansas City, as you head south, eventually it's still the Missouri side. It's down past 30, past 39th. It's down a ways going south. I don't know. The hilltop of the hills, you go up and over and down into the southern suburbs, which eventually will get you to most of Shawnee Mission and the McKansas side and all that. There's also one downtown. It's I think it's at 13th and Broadway-ish. On the hill, I believe it's called, what's that hill called? It's that top of the downtown hill there in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. It's called the Peanut Rocks. This place has got great wings. And if you've seen my cooking show, I've done my wings grilled style after what the Peanut does. The Peanut fries them, and they take about 20 minutes to make. I do a grilled wing, and they're the whole wing. They're not just the drummies and the little flapper. They're the whole drummy flapper together. And so you order 6, you're really getting a dozen. You order 20 or 24, you're getting about 40 some odd wings. Because you go to like Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever, they split them like that, right? I made them here at the house last night, and they're split. Well, these are the big ones. Anyway, long story short, I went to Peanut. Couldn't find a parking spot because in the Hertz rental, they had a van. Supposed to have a mid-sized SUV. And Hertz, I love you. You do treat your gold customers well, but when I got in late after 10 o'clock, the gold aisle didn't have a lot of choices. And National was out of cars. Thus my dilemma. But anyway, I had a cool minivan with 2 sliding doors on the side. If I had like 6 kiddos and we were on a family vacation, I guess that'd be the way to go. But it was just with me and the rental with plenty of space. Anyway, long and the short of it was, I'm going to see John up there as well. Kevin, Matt, happy Australia Day, mate. I'm going to get to that as well. I'm going to share some Australia Day memories today and Wednesday on the day after. Let's see here. Yeah, so oops is right. I forgot. I was so excited to go to the Peanut that I forgot. And as it wound up, I couldn't find a parking spot with a minivan. So I rolled back to the hotel, park in the garage. Thought I'd walk, because I actually had walked down past it that morning. I thought, well, I'll just walk down there, but it was a little cold. So I walked down to Power and Light and splurged on a fancy steak instead. KC Strip instead. So the point was, I forgot. But I kind of said I would be doing some stuff, and I wasn't even sure. So I didn't do it. And then on Friday, I got back Thursday night, late Friday. We had to move our Thursday Australia show because of my trip to Kansas City, which it worked out because the Perth Ball Club didn't play until till Saturday. So our Friday night show here, Saturday morning in Australia, was a preview of the weekend series. So it all worked out. So Paul and I did our show, just moved it back, moved it back a day, which starts at 5 o'clock Central, right in the middle of this show. And I had aimed to do a 4 o'clock happy hour, but I was running behind, and more on that in a moment. So a lot to catch up on. Yes, mate, it was like the equipment van. Yes, Paul's talking about the equipment van in Australia. Paul's in Perth. I went and picked it up at the airport. Gosh, was it 15, 16 season? 14, 15? 15, 16. Team wasn't very good. Anyway, Paul and I, we were the first road broadcast crew ever in the Australian Baseball League. And I'd gone to Canberra on the red eye with the team to Sydney or Melbourne, I forget. And then you fly overnight, land there, then you take the little short flight to Canberra. Canberra flight's like an hour. Cross-country flight's 5. And Paul had to go. I think he couldn't get the red eye with us. He had to come the next day. So we left like an early morning flight into Melbourne and then on in and so about mid-afternoon, I picked him up, like 2 in the afternoon. And when you travel the Australian Baseball League, when you land, you get a series of rentals. You usually get a couple of minivans, I say minivans, the biggest van you can get in Australia. It's the Australian version of the Econo van, right? The Econo long GM, you guys have been in those, right? The GM van with it's like 6 rows or whatever. I get claustrophobic in those too. Anyway, I had the equipment van to go pick Paul up. And basically the equipment van it's all the gear goes, everybody takes their own bags, and then we put all the bags in this equipment van. So it's a panel van. It's basically a 2-seater in the front. I want to say it was like a Toyota, maybe. Sounds right. 2-seater, you got to pull yourself in this son of a gun. It's old school. It's old school. It's a panel van. And if anything's, rolling, like, for example, you're around a corner and somebody, this is true, a baseball fell in somebody's bag and was left in the panel van. And so I go to the panel van. There's nothing in there. All the gear's out. As I'm moving the corners there in Canberra, you can hear that ball rolling up, bang, banging around back there. So anyway, I picked Paulie up in the Avis panel van at Canberra Airport. Of course, Canberra, the capital of Australia. So yeah, I did do that. So anyway, yeah, the old equipment van, mate. But I had that in Kansas City. But it had seats, had bucket seats, the 2 bucket seats. The panel van we had to climb into that had like a little sliding window, like you have the inmates in the back. Like it's the old paddy wagon type van. It was anyway. Yeah, double header, possibly, Kevin, on the happy hour. So anyway, that's what happened last week. And I got a lot of crap to get to. Let me have a little water here. Let's see. We're going to get the Kansas City trip in more detail in a moment, but that's what happened. The Kansas City trip was a good trip. Kansas City Monarchs, rebrand, relaunch, Reign, whatever you want to call it, Reign relaunch. The Monarchs exist again as the team I formerly known as the T-Bones are now known as the Kansas City Monarchs. And I'll get to that in a bit. More to catch up on as I'm kind of giving you the rest of the story. That was exciting. We're going to go do a little bit of that trip as well, and some of the things what was exciting to see last night in the NFL games. What else? Wife tested positive. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, the lovely and talented is. Remember the song from? I believe it was from the movie White Knights from the 80s. It was the fine work of the late Gregory Hines, and I believe what was the famous ballet dancer's name? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, the soundtrack had a song called "Separate Lives." Like we're living separate lives. That song. Phil Collins did it. Anyway, Phil Collins done a much better job of it than I am. We're living separate lives in our house. Caroline was due to move her to the dorm yesterday at University of Dallas. Didn't quite make it out of town in time. Caroline has since relocated to her dad's house to quarantine. She just quarantined because our best mate from high school, Audrey, who goes to Marshall, had her dad and her dad got it, and she tested positive, and she was due back to Marshall. I believe she actually went back this week, but Caroline and her hung out the week before, and Caroline had to be locked down as well. She tested negative on Thursday, so she was clear to go back to dorm on Sunday. Well, my wife yesterday was feeling rough most of the weekend, off and on, a little bit here and there. She tested positive yesterday. Does El Cavido need to head to Texas? Yes. We need you to come down here and save the day, although I'm back to covering my hands to wipe my eyes. Hold on. I'm a little tired, but I think I'm okay. You know, it's one of those deals where somebody else has got these symptoms and all of a sudden you feel them too. Like my wife had a little trouble with the breathing thing. Yes, appreciate it, Ryan. I appreciate it. Caroline is okay. She was fine, although she's still got to sit out of school. She's going to University of Dallas. She can't be back in the dorm until next week late, I believe. So she'll be doing virtual. She was already doing virtual, and she was good with it. She wasn't, I mean, I feel bad for the kid. She was in Rome this time last year when the COVID thing hit, eventually coming home. Actually, she left about a year ago now. COVID basically shut her semester down. She's been a real trooper through it all, and I feel for her because she's went to University of Dallas for that program mostly and for the opportunity, the good education. I don't know if you know this, University of Dallas, small Catholic school in Dallas, but its claim to fame used to be that it was the closest thing to Texas Stadium. It was a little tower behind it. Now Texas Stadium doesn't exist anymore, but it's a really good school. And she's loved it, and I just feel for her because she should be on campus with their mates. She actually tried out for a virtual show and a couple that they're going to be doing online, recorded and made it. And she's all excited, but she can't be on campus yet. My wife, on the other hand, I don't think we should be too surprised. She teaches at St. Mark's here in Dallas, all-boys school. I got a message Friday morning from my brother saying, hey, the game, St. Mark's was playing Cistercian, which is my nephew's school, in soccer that day, but the game's been canceled because I understand there's an outbreak at St. Mark's. About 15 minutes later, my wife texts me saying the very same thing. We're going virtual next week. Ugh. Okay. Mind you, I got back from Kansas City the night before, about 8 o'clock at night. She and I did ride in the car back from the airport, but I was gone Tuesday, Wednesday. I subbed all day Tuesday. I saw her basically on the way to the airport Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday gone, back Friday. She messaged me Wednesday night during my meal that I mentioned that I was on a roundabout with the van. And she just felt run down. It didn't feel good. And I know she'd been busy and all that. And I was, knew she'd been trying to help Caroline get off to school and all that. So anyway, that kind of started last week, but she was, just run down. School shuts down on Friday, go to virtual on Monday. She kind of gradually got little cold symptoms over the weekend. We went to dinner Friday night. She was fine. Saturday, she didn't have a beverage Saturday night. We went to our normal place, Fernando's, great Mexican food on Midway. It's our Saturday night tradition. We even got yogurt Friday night with Caroline. She was fine with that. Again, she seemed pretty good Saturday. Sunday, she slept in. And so Sunday morning, I got up, did our church group, our Bible study, or our Sunday school class connect group early. She slept. I took the dog out. She slept through it. No big deal. Woke up right as connect group was over. And she was laying back down again. I got dressed. I went to Sunday service, which is, you can watch online, but I wanted to go in person. I felt like I needed to go personally just from some things in my life. And I just felt like I needed that. So I went. Going to see Leah anyway. So sorry, Zoom meeting. All good. Glad you're watching, Mom. So anyway, long and the short of it was, she went yesterday. She started to feel a little, after church, I came home. She kind of felt a little more, I should probably get tested. And especially since the school had gone virtual, they had a lot of cases. I believe she told me had 8 new cases alone over the course of the last 24 hours. And there was enough cases on Friday to shut down the high school anyway. So anyway, she did test positive. And I actually ordered some Tiff's treats, cookies, and brownies because I thought she was going to be negative. I just thought she was tired. So that is the situation. She's got the bedroom and carrying the wipes when she goes down to do virtual classes. I've got Caroline's room and my office, which is the studio office. I'm here. I got meal duty, which is fine. I'm going to cook some dinner a little bit later. We had our neighbor delivered us, or didn't deliver us, but got us food delivered for lunch, which is phenomenal. Just our next door neighbor. I did wings yesterday and the air fryer, which we're going to have to review those eventually and do those for you guys here on the show because the air fryer makes a dandy wing, by the way. Chicken wing extraordinaire. So that's where we're at. I feel fine, except for the guys, like I said, somebody else feels bad around you, kind of start. And earlier, my show at lunch, I did a Kansas City show, and I got a little hot in these lights, but I was wearing long sleeves. The fan wasn't on, and I had these lights on, and the heat was probably on the house. It's 66 outside today. So with all that, that's where we're at. So prayers for my wife. Let's catch up here. There we go. And prayers for everyone as well. BeLive did some cool stuff, but I haven't really learned it all yet. They've got some new bells and whistles, and I got they've moved all my little graphic stuff. I used to be able to do this closing my eyes, and I realized this on Thursday when I was at the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City. And they changed some stuff on the screen. I hadn't paid attention. So I've got to give me a moment here to pull this up. Luckily I was able to get through it earlier. Let's see. I think the scroller is here. There we go. There it is. There's the scroller right there. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you, mate. By the way, Ryan, love listening to the show when I'm working out when the weather's better. And today was a day when I substitute teach, Ryan, I missed the show. But when I days like today and Friday, when I get to work out a little bit later, I usually do my walk for the first hour or second hour of your show, depending on how warm it is, and enjoy listening to it. Ryan does a great job at 1340 in Lubbock. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal stuff he does. Ryan's a lot like you, Kevin. You two could probably do similar type shows on sport and society. You're very similarly switched on to what's going on right and wrong in the world. Sorry, Mom. Leah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it so much, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I'm usually in Perth right now, and I'm a little heartbroken, but glad I can be with my wife. Wish I could cook. Spent a mezcal martini and salad. Hey, the air fryer wings, I'm telling you, we're going to get to those. I showed you those photos a week ago. I did another batch yesterday. They were a little saltier than I liked. I think I know why, because I did use the baking powder, but I also put a lot of spice in the powder and on top of the wing. I probably should have just done one or the other. Now, I didn't need both, or even just done this powder and done the sauce, but I made a nice homemade garlic parm, and I made a buffalo sauce, which is pretty easy. Just basically out of a jar, or not a jar, but a Sweet Baby Ray's. And I also did garlicky. I love Buffalo Wild Wings garlicky sauce, by the way. Kevin says, my wife bought the air fryer. She loves it. She made broth. And here's the deal, Kevin. I've read that. I understand broths, other proteins like bacon are pretty good. I've heard that even grilled chicken, obviously chicken. We've done chicken breast. We've done a fried chicken fried chicken breast. I did some chicken tenderloins as well. I understand that. I understand bacon's pretty good in there too. We've not done that yet, but I can tell you it made a mean batch. I made 30 some odd, 40, we'll see. Probably 30, gosh, sleep by. 16 wings, something like that. Yeah, I actually, I ran out of Sweet Baby Ray's, and I ordered some Amazon was when she, especially when she went into lockdown, and I figured, well, I can't make a run to the store. I ordered some staples from Amazon Fresh, and they were out of Sweet Baby Ray's, but they had Frank's. I like Frank's as well, and I just use a generic Frank's stuff. If I really want to kick it up, I will throw some extra Tabasco in there. I will throw some extra red pepper. I love Buffalo Wild Wings, and I don't think that anybody makes this sauce as good as Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a spicy garlic sauce. Really, really good. Now Pluckers, which is an Austin chain that's got in Texas, Pluckers Wings. We went Friday. They actually do have they call it Vampire something. It's a garlicky spice. It's really good. Slightly different sauce, but I love spicy garlic. The hotter the better. And so, yeah, that's a good one. Also, I love the Daytona sauce from Hooters, which is a combination of hot and barbecue. And you put those on the grill. But yeah, Frank's is solid. As a matter of fact, I believe Dust Wings over in Colleyville, which is out of Buffalo, they use Frank's sauce. Let's see. Frank's is good. Yeah, spicy garlic. That I need to go. I'm going to order it from Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, I love that place. I've got so many points. I think of the franchises, it's the best of the national chains. There are a lot of. I mean, I can tell you I can give you the best place to go to wings in just about every city in the country that I've been to. And going to see Michael. Ellen, hope you're doing well up there in the district. Marty in San Antonio, Ellen in the district, and Michael in Colorado. No, Michael, you're in Lubbock, right? Colorado. We have Lubbock. So far, we've had Australia, 2 Perth, 1 Sydney. We've got North America, Dallas, Indiana, Minnesota, south of the Twin Cities. We've got Lubbock. We've got San Antonio, the district, as I mentioned. Oh gosh, Kansas City earlier. Got KC on, so we got a lot of folks checking in. So glad you guys are logged. Yeah, I'm going with the Lazy White T-shirt today. Let's see. Spicy garlic is my favorite too. I'm telling you, it's a great sauce. I do like, and Kevin, sorry about that. Kevin chimes in. Yeah, again, throw out a place. Oh, crud. These freaking, I don't know why Chrome decides that I need to read all this nonsense. I know it already. I've already got the Dallas Morning News online. So, for example, I used Kansas City earlier, the Peanut in Kansas City. There's several locations. The old Royals used to go to the one on Main, as I was talking about earlier, the downtown location, which is my favorite because it's in a beautiful area of downtown Kansas City where it's right across from some old school, what do you call it, row houses, I call them. There's a word for them. Really cool area. I can't remember the name of that. What is the name of that hill? Dadgummit. It's going to drive me nuts. What is the name of that hill? Let's just look it up. Kansas City, not Kansas. Let's see here. I walked right by the place. And if you folks, there's the Blueberry Hill. That's not Blueberry Hill. What is that place? I think it's called Quality Hill, but let me look it up. I pulled up the map here. I think it is Quality Hill. I think that's the neighborhood. Just above the West Bottoms. If you know Kansas City Metro, yeah, Quality Hill. It's where it is. That's Quality Hill. The Peanut downtown is at 9th. It's actually, I think, 11th. It's actually at 9th and Broadway is the major intersection. It's on 9th Street, but it's called Quality Hill. It's a cool neighborhood. It's a beautiful old church around the corner that I walked by. I think it was built in the early 1900s, late 1800s. I mean, it's a good little area. And of course, downtown KC's got some hills anyway, so it'll give you a good workout. Anyway, the Peanut in Kansas City is where I would say the best wings are in Kansas City. Dallas, if you were going to go to a local chain, and Dallas, I think for all the great food in Dallas-Fort Worth has got great food. I think the best wing that I've had in DFW is Duff's, which is a Buffalo outfit that there's a bunch of people from Buffalo live in the mid-cities, Colleyville, that area. Not even Colleyville. It's more like it'd be South Lake, really. It's right across the South Lakes Town Square. Grapevine area. There's a lot of folks from New York that have moved down here, and Duff's has got they've got a bunch of them in Metro Buffalo in northern New York, upstate. They've got one there, and it's worth the drive over there. That's the best wing. I think the best smoked wing that I've had goes to the barbecue joint down in the Arts District. What is that? Honey, what's that place called? Oh, dang it. The Buffalo, the barbecue place in the, no. In the Arts District here. Lockhart's. Yeah, Lockhart's Barbecue. Good smoked wing. As far as a really good wing, I think Duff's locally. Let's see, what else can I give you? Chicago. Jake Melnick's Corner Tap. Jake Melnick's Corner Tap is so good. They dump the sauce, like let's say you order the hot. But they also do a wing of the month. I've had root beer. I had peanut butter and jelly wing. That sounds terrible, but it was really, really good. I mean, and it was topped with jelly and peanut butter. It was really, really good. It sounds terrible. It's a couple of years ago. But Jake Melnick's Corner Tap in Chicago, you can do it. It's on the edge of Lincoln Park in the north of downtown area. Phenomenal. Really it's more just, you just go across the river. It's right there, that north neighborhood from downtown. Phenomenal place. You can actually walk the Magnificent Mile. You can really walk over from Michigan Avenue. It's about 2 blocks off Michigan Avenue. I think it's Dearborn. But anyway, look it up. Jake Melnick's, Melnick. Also going to do a pretty good barbecue for Chicago. Good burger, good steak, good barbecue, but their wings, best in Chicago. Give me another place. I don't know. We had found one. We found a place in New York. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I can look it up on my Google. Found one in New York that was phenomenal. New York City, down in Chelsea. My point is, I love my wings. So when I'm telling you that smoked, there's the dog, that without smoking them or frying them, air frying them, that is the bomb. Air frying wings is the freaking bomb. I mean, it is awesome. And I did not think I would like them, but the key, I think, and again, I'm going to double check this my third try, but I believe the baking powder gives them a little crispy, and they come out crispy. So my wife is go over the day. Take care. Yeah, Leah, good to see you. And a great, yeah, by the way, it's her. Getting over the day there. She's at 7:38 on a Tuesday in the beautiful West. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in Perth today. It's, of course, today is the day after Australia Day. No, today is Australia Day. Pardon me. Today is Australia. It's 26th over there. So happy Australia Day to my mates over there. Australia Day is basically, it would be the equivalent to 4th of July here. It's a little different meaning-wise. It basically celebrates the arrival of the Europeans in the country, basically. But it also celebrates the founding of the country. It is there in answer to the 4th of July. One of my favorite things about this time of year is the Hot 100 they play. They play all the top songs of the year, and it's really kind of a big deal. Usually there's also there's usually some kind of, not always, but a test cricket sometimes. Not always. Sydney fireworks are great. Perth's foreshore fireworks are great. Of course, this year with COVID restrictions may be different. Last night in Perth, they played a little baseball. It's always really a big deal. So anyway, pretty cool deal, Australia. So happy Australia Day. My fondest Australia Day memory was my first one there. We played an Australia Day baseball game, and I should pull those pictures up. I'll do it Wednesday. I'll pull them up for you Wednesday. But it was January 26th, and it was about 103 in Perth. We played a day game. Of course, it's dry heat, but it was still hot as blue blazes. And all the Americans, except for me, were blistered like they were as red as this. They were that red. And our poor cameraman was in center field. He was Australian. Poor guy was just covered in sweat. And I mean, he looked like he'd been in the desert. Poor guy. And I remember that was the center field camera. But anyway, So yeah, so happy Australia Day to my mates there. I will pull that up as I got a little behind here. I'll pull that up on Wednesday and give you guys some Australia memories. Mom says I love Western Australia. Would win spend there if it was healthy. Bank account would go there before. Yeah, oh yeah, Western Australia and really Australia in general. South Australia, it's Florida without the nonsense. Florida has the nonsense element to it. Yes, they do have the tax bracket in Florida that's no taxes, but my wife's holding court. She's now walking around the house, which means I got to put my hazmat suit on to go down and get dinner later. Get dinner started. We're literally in separate. She's in the bedroom there, down the hall. I'm in what's Caroline's bedroom, but Caroline left it all. She moved out for the dorm, so and then my office is next to Caroline's office or her bedroom. So I've got my own little corner of the house, and then we don't try to be in the same room unless we're masked, and even then it's at a distance. To be honest with you, I don't know how much good it's going to do because I kissed her yesterday from the church. I mean, it's not like slept together for 2 days when I got, or 3 days when I got back from, or 3 nights before I got back. I got in Kansas City, but I feel fine. There is this though. I can't confirm this, but I feel like I had it in Australia about a year ago, about this time. I flew from Sydney to Perth. Sat next to a couple who were wheezing and blowing their noses, and the guy was not real hygienic, consistent. I had to wear a mask over, and I'd been sick before I left to go to Australia. And I'd just gotten better, and I'd wore a mask except for this flight from Sydney to Perth. 2 days later, I was scuffling, and by the end of that next day, Paul was scuffling, and by the end of the next morning, little Lethe was struggling, and then Mayora got it, his daughter and his wife Tiana. It spread like wildfire. Paul and I had to go travel across the country to Canberra to broadcast, and we were a mess. It took about, once I got some food and some ibuprofen in me and some fluids, it started to break a little bit. The fever broke. We broadcast that Tuesday night. Went to Sydney, was pounding water the next day, crashed in the hotel room, came back to Perth into the week, and I spent the weekend watching the Super Bowl and in a hotel. And by Monday, by Friday, I was much better. I was able to go down and get out and about, but it was, for about 5 days, I was pretty crooked up. So anyway. All right. What else we got going? Okay, what else? In Kansas City as well, we did this. Exciting times. The team I work for, the Kansas City T-Bones, is now the Kansas City Monarchs. And it's exciting. I would say 9 out of 10 folks are excited. There's a few folks, like anything, are going to be a little in and out about it. But in case you don't know of the Kansas City Monarchs, they were, from 1920 to 1965, they're the longest running Negro League team. Often compared to the New York Yankees, their success, all but one season of that time, they didn't make the postseason. They made the postseason all but once, 8 titles. They're known, before Jackie Robinson signed with the Dodgers, he was a Kansas City Monarch in the Negro Leagues. Satchel Paige comes to mind. There's a long, long list. J.L. Wilkinson brought a team from Iowa. They were actually called the All Nations team. It was a barnstorming team. Prior to 1920, they played literally with players from all over the map, background-wise. Moved to Kansas City, became permanent member of the Negro League. And what made it really interesting of J.L. Wilkinson was white. And he was the only white owner of that bunch. And the Negro League owners were kind of like, because back in those days, if you know your Plessy versus Ferguson ruling, separate but equal. So yeah, equal opportunities, but separate. It's just terrible, but that's the best they could do then. Well, he put together a juggernaut of an organization. They were the first, for example, I've talked about this before, they were the first team to use lights before the major leagues did. They would actually travel with lights because they would set their fields up sometimes in wherever, and they would travel with lights. They had their own light standards. Anyway, it's a really cool opportunity. The Negro Leagues Museum is based in Kansas City, Missouri. It's downtown at 18th and Vine. It shares the building with the Jazz Museum. So jazz and baseball sharing a place there at 18th and Vine, historic district in the edge of downtown Kansas City, off the Paseo. The league was actually founded there at the YMCA old building off the old Paseo, which was, in that time, was the segregated black neighborhood of Kansas City. But it's exciting because the rebranding and bringing this name back, legendary name to play at the Field of Legends there in Kansas City, Kansas. It's a cool thing because I think the T-Bones were definitely Kansas team, but the Monarchs are a Kansas City Metro team, like the Chiefs, the Royals, Sporting KC, the soccer team. This will also serve as a unifying club in Metro Kansas City. So folks from both sides of the river, state line, whatever, both mayors were involved, both cities were involved. The team plays in Kansas, the museum's in Missouri. We're going to be back and forth with the two. And what I'm excited for as a broadcaster, as I kind of kick back here, is to educate myself, educate the fans on the legacy of the Negro Leagues. And I can think of no better time than now to honor them. And I mentioned this before. My wife and I are both a part of a racial reconciliation class with our church. Not a class; it was a book. We actually did it with. It was a Bible study group I have with a bunch of guys from two churches, one predominantly black, one predominantly white, and we all went through a book called "Build the Bridge," and we're going through another book now called "Oneness Embrace" by Tony Evans. So I've had a chance to get to these brothers, both white and black, and we've really, and my wife and I got to know a couple of the couples, and the wives got into their own thing. It's really been great. And so I think, and I said this a little bit before, as a white moderate, let's call it, I think the onus falls a lot upon myself, is something Martin Luther King said. I told you guys this last week, something our pastor, Jeff Warren, has said. His letters from Birmingham jail, he mentions that a lot of it's not the black clergy or the folks out the front or the politicians. It's the white moderate. It's me that for a while kind of sat there, and not that I didn't care about Martin Luther King, as I did, but I kind of thought the holidays, I told you last week, is an extra day off, bank holiday, whatever. And this last year, with all the things that have happened, I've come to realize, and with my church group, that there can be no better time for the Monarchs brand to come around and be reborn and relaunched and reign again. And the education of it. And I think the interesting thing is what we're going to see Clinton as well, buddy. Love you, mate. The thing is, my black brothers that I study with had as many questions about things as I did. And what really amazed me, and my wife and I have been through this and Clinton is a great example. Clinton and I have been mates for 6 years. Love that man. And when I go to Vegas next, I will see him and hang out. He's a mate. And, I've never been one to see, I always thought we were all the same. But again, as a moderate conservative, I kind of thought, it's not my fight. Well, I've learned through the book with Tony Evans and with Build the Bridge and with our church group that, it is my place. As a broadcaster, as a whatever you want to call me, and I don't have to sit out there and, I'm not out protesting necessarily, but I want to make sure we all have, equal footing. And I think part of the education process, what was cool in this whole book bridge building thing we talked about, there was a lot of historical examples in this book we read as a group, and the Negro Leagues came up from my standpoint. And when we started this Bible study back in September, I didn't know this was coming. The Monarchs were coming yet. I didn't find that out till toward the end of that, maybe the end of the last week of that study, that I actually know, and I wasn't even sure it was going to happen. So I didn't get a chance to share it with those guys until last week, Thursday night. We now meet on Thursday nights. And it was great to share that with them. I actually sent them pictures from the museum to both my white and black brothers. It was cool. And I guess my point is to get long and the short of it is good to see Alex out there too, brother. Yeah, I was looking at Vegas airfare recently, and then my wife gets COVID. How about that? I was thinking, slip out there to the Super Bowl. Maybe I can do a by myself trip. Shh. Don't say it too loud. But the point is, yeah, my mom will definitely want to come along. But I think the cool thing is my wife and I have realized that, and this goes back to this whole Kansas City Monarchs thing. There's a lesson to be learned from history. There's also understanding. And what I've understood, what I've come to understand is that Jackie Robinson was a hell of a ball player. Satchel Paige was a hell of a ball player. From everything I've read, pretty daggum good people. Now, unfortunately, at that time, they were not allowed to participate with everybody else. And that sucks. But I imagine, and I know this for a fact because I've heard this story, that when Jackie Robinson was playing with the Dodgers, he was roommates with a couple of boys from the South. One was Bobby Bragan, and the other one was Dixie Walker? I think that's right. A couple of guys from Alabama were his roommates, and they became lifelong thick as thieves brothers, teammates, an example for all. There's a story there. And it's a little bit in the movie 42. You see a little bit of it because those guys do kind of unite around him, but there's a whole storyline there that's not been told, that sport able to, once again, as I've told you before, sport, I believe, can overcome a lot of these issues. You're still going to like your team. You're still going to hate Tom Brady or love Tom Brady. Mahomes or no Mahomes, whatever. Chiefs or no, Cowboys or no Cowboys, whatever team you follow. But at the end of the game, okay, I dislike the Eagles and their fans in general, but at the end of the game, you shake hands and go about your business, right? I don't think that attitude prevails enough in society. And I think it does more with this Monarchs rebrand, with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, all that partnership. And what I'm going back to is what my wife and I have learned is that there's a story there that maybe Jackie Robinson and his wife had something in common with so-and-so and his wife. And I've learned that for a fact. My wife and I went to dinner with this couple of ours from that black couple of ours, friends of ours. We came to find out that the very same things that we're scuffling with, and I mean practical things, not, kids, houses, the things we all deal with every day, the bills, they deal with the very same thing. And I think we lose that. For some reason, we can sit there as fans at a ball game and I can high five the guy next to me. No, I know nothing about them. White, black, whatever. And I've done this many a time. I've high-fived somebody and couldn't tell you anything about them, I'm high-fiving them. Of all walks of life. But yet, for some reason, we come to real life, we can't high-five anybody. We can't hug anybody. And I hope this relaunch will help us hug each other, hug more people, and help educate us more. And we're not wrong. You're not wrong for liking, for liking the T-Bone's name. It's not a wrong thing. There's an opportunity to educate us all and make us better people so history doesn't repeat itself. And so we have an understanding. And we celebrate the greatness of those Kansas City Monarchs. And we're going to do that in Kansas City. And I'm looking forward to being a part of that. So being the voice of the Monarchs is a huge deal to me. It's a huge deal. I never thought, I've always wanted to be in the big leagues, obviously. You want to go the highest you can go in this career. But to be the voice of the Monarchs, I don't think it's hit me until the last couple of days until I really turned that microphone on that Facebook Live on Thursday, and I realized that I better be educated, I better be out in front, and I better be one to push oneness and push love and understanding and be able to point out how bad the history was and how great the history was. There was a lot of bad with the Negro Leagues, yes, because they were not allowed to play in the major leagues. That's the bad part. But there was also some great stories there. I want to share those stories and educate those stories. So it couldn't be more exciting for that whole experience. So that was where I was last week. Good to see you, Steve. But again, I think this is not just naming a team the Rugrats or the whatever, Fighting Beatles. Those are fun names and cool logos or whatever, Give me a cool logo you think's cool. Give me, your favorite team and you love their logo and it's cool. But this one has a little more meaning to it, more so than any other thing out there in our league, at least in the association, and I think in minor league baseball in general. What's in a name? What's it stand for? And as long as I'm there, whether it be for one more day or for 100 years, I will try to make sure that do that name proud and help educate and lead and be that no longer can the white moderate that's broadcasting for the Monarchs just sit in his hands. Not that I was sitting on my hands before, but I think it's all come full circle, and I'm very thankful for the blessing of it all coming full circle. I think the good Lord did know what he was doing by bringing me to Kansas City, and the team got sold, and all the angst that goes with changing ownership. But I'm in the right place he wants me at right now for a reason. And no situation is perfect. Yeah, the Toledo Mud Hens make you laugh. And there's nothing wrong with that. Kansas City Monarchs are going to make a lot of folks proud, and that's the cool thing. There's a lot of Monarch gear in KC. You see a lot of Monarch gear. The heart with the KC that came from the Monarchs. So they were called the Monarchs, I believe, because the Monarchs are all they prevail. Anyway. So anyway, that's that. One more thing about that too, I want to share with you guys. I'm going to put my screen up here. This would have been. Did you guys see this? This is kind of cool. So I'm last out about 8:15, 8:20 during the third quarter. 4 minutes left or so. Hold on, just let me get back to where I'm trying to find here. Why it's not coming up? I had it. There we go. This is really cool. And this would not have happened if, say, I was somewhere else. If this hadn't happened, this rebrand hadn't happened, this would not happen. Now, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum there in Kansas City is partnering with the Kansas City Monarchs. It's a marketing part. It's a partnership. We're going to help them. They're going to help us, and all that. I'm sitting there last night, coming back from break, and I look up and I see this. Put this on the screen for you. I see them. Move this down so you guys can see. Do you guys see that? NLBM, Negro League Baseball Museum. How about that? Jim Nantz talking about that museum. When they go on, I'm going to give you another shot of it too. And they go on to, if I can do it here, they go on to tell us about the museum, and then you should go check it out. There's a picture of Jackie Robinson sliding. You can't see it because the Bud Light Seltzer ads over it, but I believe that's Jackie Robinson. That's a mural on the wall there. This is taken from my TV there, it's on my Twitter. But they did a whole video thing, and I was just there a couple days before where the announcement was made. And I'll give you guys some of that stuff on Wednesday because I'm going a little long today. But Rockford Peaches, there you go. Yeah. See, that would be cool. If Rockford had a team, that's a very good point, because that's another thing. If you're talking about, equality and oneness, I think honoring the Rockford Peaches and honoring that women's league would be huge. I can't believe some team has not done that. I can't believe some team hasn't tried to do that. Anyway. But that's what we saw right there. And they had a great video of it. And of course, I'm sitting there going, wow, that's really cool. The ball club that I work for, the Kansas City Monarchs, which is part of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, is on the national television with Jim Nantz saying, hey, go check this place out. We're in Kansas City. It's pretty cool. Talk about getting a little raising the hair on the back of your neck. That's really cool. I'm not saying that the old somebody would have mentioned maybe the T-Bones before, but that's cool. They didn't say the Kansas City Monarchs, but there it is. There it is on the screen. Kansas City Monarch jersey right there. And there was more than that. There was a lot more than pictures than that. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a lot more there. And the traction of that and the retweets and all that, that's something you can't, that's just good publicity you can't buy. Just can't buy that. So anyway, that's where we kind of wraps that whole thing. That's where I was coming from for the game. So yes, Super Bowl, Chiefs and the Buccaneers. As a Red Raider, I'm happy for Patrick Mahomes. As a part-time Kansas City in it, I'm happy for those folks. Also happy for the Hunt family who live here in Dallas and have for a number of years or forever. And they also own FC Dallas. So I'm very happy for the Hunts and played football against Clark back in the day. So always very happy to see them do well. But yeah, just happy for, and so many people I care about are happy. Enjoy it, though, because these things don't go on forever. Trust me, as my nephews and my kids would know, they've never seen a Cowboy team worth a darn, and the last couple that were worth a darn lost the first round. So there was a time in my lifetime where you could just set your clock by it. Okay, it's playoff time. Bob, how many shirts do we have? Playoff shirts we have over the years? Funny because not funny, but sad because I just saw that Alicia Landry, Tom Landry's wife, passed over the weekend. And, think of those great teams that Coach Landry, and we'd go to Foley's or J.C. Penney's or whatever and get our Cowboy gear whenever they made the playoffs. It was a big deal to win the division. Big, big deal. Anyway. All righty. What else we got today? That's pretty much it. Okay, coming up this week, Wednesday, we'll be back on Wednesday. I'll give you a little bit more of the Australia Day thing, that flavor, because I have some great memories and some fun stuff. And what maybe the Australia Day files and some of the I've spent 3 or 4 of them over there. And basically it's a VB, Victorian Bitter, and a little time with my mates is what it is. But I've had some good times over there in Australia Day and broadcast as well. We'll update my wife's progress in case you joined us late. She tested positive, feeling a little run down, a little cold symptoms, but the doctor did say she could go outside and walk with a mask on. So she's trying her hardest to do that twice a day. I do have dog duty, but she took the dog out while I'm on the show. But they do think that getting out fresh air is good. Don't know if she's going to be around anybody, but she won't be, but that's something that she's doing. And she wanted to. And then she'll go back to her. They're probably still in the basement, Mom. They probably are. You know what I'm talking about, Mom? Remember whenever the Cowboys made the playoffs every year, we'd have a playoff T-shirt. Anyway. But Wednesday we'll come back with you. Friday we will get back to the beer tasting again. I've got some to get to. Going to get to those for sure. It'll be me alone. My wife will probably join us via virtual. Thanks, Clint. I appreciate it. It's a mild symptom. I think her fever was low grade last night, none today. The hard part is just, we're kind of passing. We do a lot of passing during this whole COVID lockdown thing. We do a lot of passing when she's passing in the night or passing the daytime. When she was virtually teaching and I was upstairs, even though we were kind of passing. The good news, we did book our spring break trip in March, but she'll definitely have earned it by then. I'm praying for me too. Again, don't feel too bad. I mean, my normal allergies and a little bit getting up too early to watch Australian baseball at 5 a.m. hasn't been good. But anyway, because Craig, I'm in Canada. There we go. Now we got 4 countries today: Australia, U.S., Canada, and Texas. How about that? But appreciate those prayers too and thoughts for both of us. Caroline feels fine. So we'll see. It's one of those cases where you think that, your wife says, I got a sore throat, and you kind of start. So anyway, I did order some more juice shots. I was out of juice shots, had to order that. Everything's going to be ordered online now pretty much. So anyway, we will get going, get cracking. So a lot going on, but yes, a big week, a lot of fun. Tonight, Texas Tech playing some hoops against West Virginia. So I got that at 8 o'clock, some dinner to make. Much love to you guys. Again, Thanks for letting me talk about the Monarchs. I'm so very excited about that opportunity. And let's keep being better people, man. Let's just keep being better. We can do this. I don't give a crap who's in the White House, who's not. I don't care. And what I do care about you guys, and we can just be better folks. We can do that. I know that we can be better fans, and I'm just excited about what's going ahead. Great, happy Australia Day to my mates in Australia. I miss you dearly. I'd love to have a VB about right now and just be kicking it out Cottesloe or Swanbourne or I don't know, down, I don't know, somewhere or maybe at Paul's backyard, ready to do a little Australian Barbie, doing some snags in the grill, Barbie they call it. Anyway, much love. So more love today than yesterday. Let's virtual hugs. And best to everybody, please be safe. Keep us in your prayers. Wednesday again, normal show. Mom will join us. My wife will join us, give us an update on her condition as well, I'm sure. And we will do a little bit more. I'll give you some Australia Day and some more from the museum. And I'll show you guys this before I go. I have this. This is how about this? Pretty cool, huh? There's the Monarch logo on the side. This is the Monarch logo on the side. This is one of the jerseys they'll be wearing. It's not the official, but it's pinstriped. The blue. And then you got, of course, they gave me this one. How about that? Oops. So yeah, how about that? There you go. Pretty cool. So yeah, and if you want to, go to monarchs.com. There's already merchandise up right there. Of course, plenty of merch because the Negro Leagues Museum has merch, and also Ebbets Field carries a boatload of stuff too, but all kinds of. Margaret River, Mom. Margaret River. Yes, Margaret River. There you go. Yeah, Margaret River. That's no doubt, Mom. No doubt. Yeah, very cool, Clinton. I love it too. Yeah, it's cool jersey, mate. Cool jersey. Okay. I will step aside again Wednesday. We'll do it. I got to get a new, I got to get my Stars kit on there, don't I? Something. Need a new cartoon character. All good. Good to see Jim out there as well. So yes, check out the monarchs.com, monarchsbaseball.com. And again, we'll be back on Wednesday. Thursday, back to our normal time on Talking Baseball Australia Live. And of course, back on Friday, we'll get our beer test in, and we'll. I don't even remember what I've got down there now. I think we'll get out of the dark. We had the dark stuff for a while, more of the stout. I think we're going to get more back into some more lighter stuff. But I got to check my stock and see where I'm at. Anyway, much love. Good to see you, Jim, out there. Hope everybody's doing well. Big hugs, everybody. Again, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for having a chat with me today. Again. Much love to everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And go Monarchs, go team, whoever. Just, hey, go everybody. Love y'all. See y'all then. Much love, everybody.